Hi everyone. So this week is week number 3 of my Chromebook challenge, where I'll be using nothing but a Chromebook to um, do all my day-to-day tasks, utilizing only open source software and web applications along with hosted applications to get everything done this week. What I've used is a number of programs that I would normally take for granted. In like a Windows environment, hotkeys or something that I use, and also I usually automate tasks using an automator in a Mac environment, and also creating just little shell scripts using terminal. Um, in a Linux environment. So what I found that helped out with doing hotkeys this week um, is a program called Pop Chrome. What that does is allows me to assign different shortcut keys for to make repetitive tasks a lot easier to input. Another program that is used this week would be for screenshots. There is a command for that by holding down the command key as well as the flip page or flip screen key as well. But there is a simpler way and one that can take a whole page or take a screenshot of just a certain section would be the Pix or Grabber application, which is a great one actually, and I use that to take it a lot quicker. Some programs that I used to use in the past would be I just use the uh, shortcut keys as well in both Windows and on a Mac keyboard. However, there was also Greenshot was one that I used to use on Windows operating system. I found that that one was a lot easier to do basically the same thing. Um, but this web-based application is basically the equivalent to that. Also, last week I didn't mention which application I was using to kind of tie in different instant messengers, such as the Skype conferences and so forth. To do that, what I was actually using was a program called IMO Instant Messenger, which also allows other instant messengers to be all kind of grouped in and tied into them. So it's one web-based application that will tie in things such as Facebook chat in there. Windows Instant Messenger as well, can or Windows Live Messenger. Uh, those programs can also be used in there. There were some settings that had to be kind of tweaked. If you go into the settings for all the plugins, doing the About tab, and disable the Flash player, then set it up through Skype. Um, that works for it. What you'll be looking for is in that plugin built into a Chromebook, it is labeled Pepper. You just disable that, and I guess that's the Flash-based Flash player built for Adobe Flash that works with the Linux-based distribution for it. But just disable that and it will use the default one, and that works great for it. Like I mentioned way back in my first initiation of this challenge was the application called Render. RNDR. What that does is it allows you to use different plugins normally not supported by Chromebooks, such as a real Flash player, and also Silverlight and Java plugin from Sun Micro. That I used in addition to the Screener, uh, Screencastle, and Screenomatic. Those were the three applications that, in conjunction with that, um, if I made a application for the web-based store, which I did, I found that I still needed to have a plugin that supported. Well, this web-based application will turn on that in an extension so that it saves that page and allows me to install the Java plugin, which therefore allows me to use the web-based applications of like Screener, Screencastle, and Screenomatic. However, like I said, there was no web-based application for it as an app in the Chrome Web Store. So what I did, of course, was use that to make a credit application for those three applications that are hosted and web-based, and that works great. And also, it adds a lot more entries into the um, Chrome Web App Store as well. Um, because, like I said earlier, the only thing that I found in there was simply a screencasting application that did not allow any publishing or exporting of video that's recorded, um, such as to publish it as either a file format or a like an MP4 file format, or even to uh, publish it and upload it to different video sharing sites such as YouTube and Vimeo. So that in a nutshell, some of those powerful things that you can do without requiring Windows, Linux, or Mac that you can accomplish very easily in Web App Store. Also, I mentioned that I do programming. However, how am I doing it? Because I can't use Notepad++. In fact, um, a lot of the web apps have to have a way of doing text editing, and it has to be able to convert into the right extension format. Well, the way to do that is a hosted IDE for it. So I use Cloud IDE. It's a great application for if I need to build websites or web applications, and recently they've also added support for Python. So I can also do Python programming as well, which makes it a lot easier to get everything done, have that compiled, and work perfectly. Um, I hope to continue to bring you my progress in each week to come. So far, there was some challenges, and some of them tasks that I do each and every day and taken for granted are now things that I can accomplish. So it's starting to become a pattern of being able to do everything that I would normally do without having to think about it. So it's really grown on me, and even power users like myself can still accomplish anything that they would normally do in their Windows, Mac, or even Linux environments. Without very much effort. There is a little bit of a learning curve as far as adopting new ways of doing things, but it's a better way. Like anything, um, sometimes to start at the begin and learn something new and learn how to do it better works out a lot better, because now I find that the fact that I can do anything more efficiently and take those things that I do in the browser and in this operating system transfers very well in if I had to jump into a Windows environment, Mac environment, or even a Linux environment, and still have access to it because of them being web-based tools. As long as I have access to an internet connection, I should be able to do everything that I would normally do and continue doing it the same way without having to learn more applications and use more software for it. So it kind of works in that way. I can still get everything done, um, and one way of doing it right across the board, regardless of what operating system. And that kind of goes back to the root days of when I first started getting into using any kind of Linux distro, where instead of using applications that were just built for, say, Windows, um, I learned how to do all the different things in a day-to-day task using just the different Linux distributions. I found there was plenty of programs where developers would create programs that I could use and still accomplish the same thing. This is pretty much is the same ordeal, but it's easier. And the fact is that, like I said, if I go from one environment to the other, I don't have to go back to figuring out how to use those Windows programs, or going back to, okay, well, now I need to find the equivalent in a Mac. In a Google Chromebook sense, the browser, even if I don't have the operating system, the Linux um, distribution underneath, I can take this browser and still use Chrome on Windows, Chrome on Mac, Chrome on Linux, and still be able to do the same thing. Um, and that's definitely makes things more efficiently